Hi guys, it's so far back again with the podcast, and like always, I am joined by Tinashe.
Hi guys. Like after giving a whole gloom and doom story last week, I might be back, I might not be back, I might be dead. I'm here. Stuck with me.
Yeah, speaking of gloom stories, last week we talked about EcoCash and its outage, but this week we're going to be talking about something on a brighter note, and it's about OneMoney.
Mhm.
So back in October, right, in the past 3 months before October, OneMoney had grew by 97% in terms of subscribers. So they previously had like around 215,000 and they were now at 425,000. So that's like a huge growth, right? And even in the second quarter Portras report, they now had 335,000 right subscribers. Still, compared to EcoCash, it's like small because EcoCash is like at 6.6 million, but still, it's impressive growth. And the question then comes, where is this growth coming from?
Mm. Oh yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like we really have to to give them kudos for that growth. 97% growth in 3 months is it's not a joke. That's 100% in 3 months. That's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, still quite small when compared to EcoCash, but they're chowing. Yeah, how do you eat an elephant? One
One
bite at a
bite at a
time.
time.
Yeah, and I think they're taking those bites, eh?
Yeah.
Because not so long ago, EcoCash was at 98% market share in terms of total number of mobile money subscribers in Zim. Um, and as the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, it's half year 2019 that you mentioned there, EcoCash was at 94.4%. So they'd shed off some market share. And, wow, all of it absorbed by
OneMoney.
OneMoney, really.
Mm.
Yeah,
Telecash is another
and
story.
Telecash, let's not go there. you know. Um, so I think they are definitely doing something right. And well, if we talk of uh, them moving, because this 1 year, half year, like at the end of the second quarter, we're saying they were at 335,000. That's OneMoney. But by end of September, they were now at 425,000, as you mentioned. We don't know how much EcoCash had moved because there hasn't been a report from EcoCash um, since the last Portras numbers that we have, which are up to June. Um, but I would guess that um, EcoCash did not grow by that same rate. So meaning OneMoney probably took in some bit of market share gain from that 94.4% that EcoCash still had at the end of June. So
Yeah. And you can imagine with the recent EcoCash outage, how much more has OneMoney taken? Uh,
yeah, so yeah, I do think, I mean, there's that protest switching, like people say, I'm fed up with this, I'll just register for OneMoney, and then someone registers. Um, so yeah, maybe before we get into there, I think there's something to say even about that kind of a switch when people switch like that. You ask the question, I mean, where is the growth
Coming from.
coming from? Yeah. So OneMoney is doing a lot of things. Net one, they're doing a lot of things to push this service of theirs. Uh, one of those things is they're trying very hard to have use cases for OneMoney, um, and to have entry points into OneMoney. That's entry points for actual money onto the platform.
Yeah.
Uh, because Zim right now, we are cashless, so So there's no one who really has cash. So if I want to do a peer-to-peer transaction, for example, I want to send my grandmother money in the rural areas. In the early days of mobile money, how I would do that was basically just an obvious thing. I would go to a mobile money agent, give them cash, and then they then transfer money into my mobile money wallet, which I then send to my grandmother's mobile money wallet. And yeah, generally she would cash it out before spending, or she could spend it from the wallet. But now, if I'm going to send my grandmother money, that money perhaps is already in my mobile money wallet, because we're now using these things much, much, much more. So there's a higher likelihood that there's money already in my mobile money wallet. Or number two, I'll move it from another source. So I'll move it perhaps from the bank into my mobile money wallet.
So that was the problem, that OneMoney ecosystem didn't have money, so no one would use it.
Yeah, like no one already had money on that platform. And well, so yeah, they're integrated with banks and stuff, but there was no compelling reason why I would then have another mobile money, because the thing is, I already had a mobile money wallet.
Yeah.
So why should I open another wallet? People have multiple SIM cards in Zim. You know, I would hazard to say a big chunk of the Net One subscribers also have an EcoNet line, and probably that EcoNet line is still held because it was already registered for EcoCash.
Okay.
So people were switching for, the telecom services. They were switching to say, Netone is giving me a better deal with voice, with data, so I'll have a Netone line. But they were not really switching from
EcoCash to OneMoney.
From EcoCash to OneMoney. And you see that every time, like when I'm chatting with people on WhatsApp, you find that there's a great number of people whose WhatsApp number is an EcoNet number. Although the SIM that's powering that's WhatsApp is a Net1 SIM. So even when you ask them their number, if they have a feature phone that actually houses their EcoNet number, they'll give you their EcoNet number. Although when they're calling you, they're calling with the Net1 number. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. So what is it that Net1 is doing? How have they turned? They haven't turned the table, but how are they convincing subscribers to join?
So I'm not sure with this particular scenario if people actually being convinced, but it's like it's being forced down your throat. But if you go by, because I remember when I bought my Net1 line, right? They were like, yeah, so you should register for OneMoney, like right there and then. And I didn't have a reason to say no. So me just being me, I was like, oh, okay, sure. It will save me the hassle of having to come back if I ever want to open it. So I just opened it there and then. So I have it. It's activated. It works. I just don't have the debit card. But if I could fund the wallet, I could actually use it. So it could be that whenever someone buys a Net1 line, before they let them go, they try and seize that chance to at least have them registered on OneMoney. And recently, we've been seeing the SMSs that have been coming, saying if you've forgotten your OneMoney PIN, send this message to some number so that you can reset your PIN. So it's like now reminding you that, oh, yes, at one point in time, I registered for this service. And especially like in this current situation with EcoCash outage, you're then like, I'm already registered. All I just need to do is reset my PIN. I might as well use it and ditch this at least for the moment, or try it out and figure out how it works. So it could be that. I just don't know how impactful it's been for them getting people who actually use the service versus just registrations.
Wow, that's actually quite interesting. So it's what's more interesting though is then to see how much, like you're saying, so it's easy sometimes to chase these vanity metrics to say, yeah, we're growing in subscribers, but you know, when they measure active a number of active subscribers, well, for portals, I think they say if something has happened with that account in the last 3 months or something, in the last 90 days, then that's considered an active account. So yeah, I mean, if people are just opening accounts, so they may be counted as active accounts, but yet, like you said, I mean, it's being pushed down your throat. Yeah, and I think that's going to remain a problem. So I mean, even going back to the second quarter report from the Potras, that's the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, that's Potras. You see that in the first quarter of 2019, right?
Yeah.
The market share for total number of subscribers, that is, the market share for OneMoney was 4.7%, and EcoCash was 94.5%, right? And then in the second quarter, EcoCash was now 94.4%, which is they shed off 1% from of their market share.
0.1%.
And net one was now, well, sorry, 0.1%. Yeah. And then net one had gained that 0.1 to make their market share 4.8%. Right? But when it comes to the market share of mobile money transactions, that's actual money that is moved in and out of the system. You know, your bill payments and blah, 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 blah. Then, first quarter, EcoCash had 99.4% market share. And OneMoney had 0.5%. And then in the second quarter, EcoCash had actually gained in market share in terms of transactions to 99.6%. They gained by 0.2%, and OneMoney shared 0.2% market share, and they were at 0.3%. So it's things like this when businesses sometimes chase these vanity metrics, the easy sounding numbers. Sometimes they then forget that they have to convert. You know, so because the person is already buying the SIM card and they're there, they're embarrassed to say no. They'll just register, and then you are celebrating that as an addition to your number of subscribers. But if you don't have a strategy to how to actually stimulate transactions on your platform, then yeah, all of Net One's 3 million subscribers can have OneMoney. I mean, in theory, they can have OneMoney subscribed.
And not use it.
And not use it.
And it's in the use where the money is.
Yes. So it's that. So such strategies to me, yeah, I don't think they will be effective. But some of the strategies that they're pursuing, though. So, for example, they're making their platform, like the user experience better. Like last week we were talking about how EcoCash had changed the flow of paying for goods in a retail shop, and I remember mentioning that at the same time, OneMoney, a few months before, they'd actually cut the steps. They'd actually made things faster.
Yeah.
It's those things that then attracts and massive recruitment drive for merchants. Those are the things that, because if I keep seeing that, you know what, where I buy, they accept this OneMoney, I'm lured to give it a try, especially when something goes wrong with EcoCash, as has been happening in recent days. I can then say, you know what, let me just try this OneMoney thing. And the other thing that they did, which also Telecash did, was to integrate with ZimSwitch.
Mm-hmm.
So ZimSwitch is Zimbabwe's switch, payment switch for banks. So particularly switching of cards. And ZimSwitch has this innovative service which we call Zip It, which allows you to send money instantly from one bank account to the next on your mobile phone. So OneMoney and the dying Telecash, they're integrated to ZimSwitch, and
But
you
Telecash is
can.
not dying. It's just not growing.
In business, if you're not growing, you are dying.
Okay, sorry for the tangent, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't think they're dying. But anyway, so OneMoney, you can zip money from any bank that's on ZimSwitch, which is really any bank in Zim, to your OneMoney account,
and vice versa.
And vice versa, which on EcoCash you can't really do. So on EcoCash you can move money from your bank to your EcoCash account, right? There are just a handful of banks, maybe 2, that are not integrated with EcoCash. But if Rufaro wants to send money from his bank account to my EcoCash, he has to move money first from his bank account to his EcoCash. He incurs costs for that. Then he moves money from his EcoCash to my EcoCash. He incurs costs again. But if we were both on OneMoney and he wanted to send money from his, even if he wasn't on OneMoney, but I'm on OneMoney and he wanted to send money to me, to my OneMoney wallet, he can send it directly from his bank account to my OneMoney through Zip It.
Yeah, convenient.
So that's a big deal. So it's like anyone with a bank account in Zim can send money to a OneMoney wallet, to any OneMoney wallet, whether it's theirs or not. So I don't see them really, talking about this much. I think they should. And then of course there is the whole payments, which I think you can describe, Rufaro.
The payment switch?
Well, like I know salaries, how OneMoney is also capturing it.
Oh, okay. So they have this program that they had started a couple of months ago, where civil servants receive their salaries in their OneMoney. So this helps, like once you have money in your OneMoney, right, as a civil servant, it's your salary, right? You have no excuse to like take it out, to like put it to your EcoCash. It's already there. Like there's no friction. It's now me using it. This is if I receive my salary in my bank account, I then have to move it to my OneMoney to use it. But then I have no reason to do that, right? Like, so that was like a clever way of getting people in the ecosystem without having them think much about it. Because if the money is already there, might as well use it there, because one, it's cheaper, right? I don't incur any transfer costs for moving money to like a bank or to EcoCash and things like that. And with EcoCash, you have like multiple steps in between to get there. So people want to save. So the little cents that I can save from those transaction costs, better for me. So I just use it on OneMoney.
Yeah. So I think that was a big deal. I mean, and the more deals that they do like this, the better for them, where there is a way for people to actually input liquidity onto that system, because that's how you kick in the network effects that you need to have a successful payments platform. So that's good. And it's not just the civil servants. They're also doing that with cotton farmers. They have an arrangement with the central buyer of cotton in Zimbabwe, which is Kotco, the cotton company of Zimbabwe, it used to be called. Now it's just Kotco. So Kotco encourages their farmers, the farmers that they buy cotton from, to have OneMoney account, so that they can just receive their money into those OneMoney wallets. So like you're saying, once that money is in the wallet, then yeah, why would I move it? I mean, as long as then concurrently they're rolling out, an impressive merchant network. So whenever I want to buy something, I can use my OneMoney. Then that's perfect. Because the other side, like EcoCash, yes, they have EcoCash payroll, and they're encouraging businesses to use it. But they didn't really have this huge need to have these kinds of arrangements with businesses, because people would voluntarily move money from their bank to their EcoCash, because EcoCash had this wide network of merchants. And even merchants that are not officially registered as merchants on EcoCash, they would still have, maybe it's a small business, so the proprietor still would have an EcoCash account, whereby if you want to buy, they would say, okay, just do a peer-to-peer transaction and send money to my wallet, and I'll give you the goods that you need. So that's strong network compelled a lot of people to move money from their bank to their EcoCash. So they didn't have a liquidity problem. Net1, though, with their OneMoney service, they had that, they still do. So the more that they do this salary stuff, and I don't know how they can sweeten those salary deals, maybe for the employers and even the people who are receiving the salaries. The more they do that, the more people then have an opportunity to test out the service.
Well, here's a crazy idea. Get your salary a week early.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're using OneMoney, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, who wouldn't want, in an inflationary environment like Zim, getting your money a week earlier means it's probably going to do 25% more than if you get it at the normal time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a crazy idea that could work. So what I don't know though is, so some of the things that they're also doing to push, I don't know if they're really effective. So last week, right?
Yeah.
Last week, the Net1 CEO announced that there will be zero transaction fees on OneMoney. Whatever you're doing, you are sending money, you are doing a banked wallet, whatever you're doing,
Not
zero
forever.
transaction fees.
Yeah, but not forever.
Not forever, up to the end of the year, up to the 31st of December. And they're saying, except for the 2% government tax.
Yeah.
I don't think that will help much.
You don't think people want to save? Because like what I was saying earlier about if the money is already in OneMoney, why would I transfer it outside? Because I'll incur charges. So in this case, yes, I still incur charges to get the money in my OneMoney, but if I end up saving more in the end, won't I get OneMoney for free, even if it's just for this Christmas holiday? And if it works out well, I'll stay as a subscriber. Isn't that like the gamble that they're making?
I don't see that working. So I think it's still key what you said at the beginning there, that if the money is already in OneMoney, and to be honest, if money was already in my OneMoney wallet, I wouldn't move it, even if they haven't said zero fees. I still wouldn't move it because moving it incurs costs. So what they've actually done actually encourages people to move the money, if you think about it.
To move
Because
it
if
out
they've
of?
then said zero from wallet to bank.
Or no, from bank? Oh yeah, from wallet to okay. Or from
So if
bank
I'm
to
moving,
wallet. Because I was about to
yeah, but
mention
they said
what
zero
if,
for all transactions.
yeah.
And remember, wallet to bank and bank to wallet, already that 2% government tax is not levied on those transactions. So by saying there are no transaction fees, it means if I already have money in my one wallet, right? I was going to transact with that money in my one wallet anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I'm not paying for it. But if I was considering to move money to my bank for something, they've just made it sweeter for me to do that. In terms of attracting people to the platform, I don't see that, because one, primarily because of that 2% tax, it's still quite high. I mean, it's the bigger cost to moving money. So yeah, I am incurring this cost moving money from my EcoCash. The assumption here is that, you know what, EcoCash is near market saturation. So probably people have money in their EcoCash wallets. So for me to move it to OneMoney, I have to go through two steps. I have to move it from my EcoCash to my bank.
Yeah,
and then I zip it to OneMoney. On zipping it to OneMoney, I incur a 2% tax. I don't think that's the play. I think they well, you know what? It's good if they're doing this for customers. I mean, it's great. I mean, you're giving something for free. Yeah, why not? You know, but I don't think it adds much to stimulating a migration of users onto OneMoney, or stimulate volume of transactions. I don't think so. I think people who already use OneMoney and they have money on that platform will still transact the same way that they would. And I don't think people will switch. I don't think people think of bank fees like that. Could be wrong.
So yeah, actually, you convinced me. So before I did not see all that you were talking about the, yeah, like it's not necessarily attracting people because yeah, there are all these charges there. But now, yeah, I actually see what you're talking about. What about the other stuff like the 1 gig free of data? If you fund your OneMoney with $500, is data that much of an incentive for someone to put money into their OneMoney?
Yeah. So I think all these things that they're doing, they would make sense in a world where people are convinced that OneMoney works just as good as EcoCash.
Okay, and the Mesh network proves that it doesn't.
Yes, that's where the game is. So if I can, so one, the Mesh network, and then there's the network effects, because peer-to-peer transactions are also a big deal. So if the people that I support, like I send money and to and stuff, if they are on EcoCash, I have to convince them first to be on OneMoney.
Yeah, and there's already friction there because I have to put in work.
Yeah. So it's that. So it has to be. It has to be where I feel like it's just as good. And then I can say, okay. So if I can just easily pay, so I'm not saying it's not, eh? But maybe if it is, they're not communicating that reality as well as they should
be.
or can.
Okay, it looks like communication could be a big problem in Zimbabwe. Because last week we were talking about EcoCash failing to communicate accurately. Now there could be missed opportunities with OneMoney because of communication.
So yeah, it's difficult to get it right, eh? So I think the energy that they're putting into these promotions and stuff, I think those promotions should come after they've established. So I think they should go, you can now do this, like what EcoCash used to do. Every time they integrate with the bank, now integrated with this bank, blah, 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 blah. So you are letting people know that there is this other channel. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where the game is. So they should concentrate more on those critical, deals, those government civil servants deals.
The supermarket thing where you just enter your number and then the PIN.
Yeah, just how easy this is, and even you can, anyone who has a bank account can send money direct to your OneMoney without any intermediary step. Do you know that? Your OneMoney account is as good as a bank account. It plays on Zim Switch. We give you a debit card where you can swipe. So if OneMoney is down, you can still swipe on Zim Switch. I don't know, that those kinds of communications that differentiate them. Otherwise, transaction fees, generally, they are so small that people complain about them, but they don't really move because of them. I don't see people moving because of them. And talking about this whole growth thing, in September, towards the end of September, the Net One CEO.
Yeah.
So it's a bit confusing because EcoCash was spun off from EcoNet, so it's now a company in itself. But for OneMoney, it's just a service that's offered by Net1, a telco. So the Net1 CEO, Lazarus Muchenji, declared in an interview that OneMoney would be the predominant, mobile payment platform in Zim within 2 years. Hey, I don't know how you feel about that. You think how feasible is that?
So before we started our talk, right, I actually thought it was possible. I didn't have like hard facts but I just had this, like from the growth and from the things that I was seeing, I was like, yeah, they have a shot, right? But for what you've been saying in our discussion so far, I'm now leaning on the side of they have a shot if they do A, B, C, D. if they focus on these things like what you're talking about, better communication and building a strong market network and improving like the peer-to-peer thing, right? Like making it simple for me to use without convincing someone else to come to OneMoney. So all those things are making me say yes if they do A, B, C, D. But if they don't, it becomes unrealistic, especially when you look at like the data that we're looking at in the Portras reports, that yes, they're growing subscribers, but they're not growing the transactions. So the big that matters is the transactions, like to overtake EcoCash in transactions, not in subscribers. Of which they can't, because net one subscribers are already less than EcoCash.
So yeah, I think one of the biggest things, and it may sound counterintuitive at first, one of the things that is against them is that Zimbabwe is already cashless. So how that works against them? So mobile money, the biggest opportunity for mobile money is huge adoption was at the transition point when we were moving from cash to non-cash forms of payment. People were looking for a replacement to cash. So it's unfortunate that Zimbabwe is cashless because of, there's literally no cash. Like, it's a default thing. Like cash became a problem. You just couldn't find cash anymore. You'd go to the bank, queue up and stuff. I mean, who wants to spend their life in a queue, right? So people were now looking for a replacement to cash. Unfortunately, when that was happening, so Net One was visionless, and more importantly, visionary-less. There was no visionary there. Because what would have happened, I think, Rufaro, is that Net One subscribers would have then switched to OneMoney from cash to OneMoney because they already were Net One subscribers. EcoNet subscribers would have then switched from cash to EcoCash because they were already EcoNet subscribers. And Telecel subscribers, again, from cash to Telecash. But that's not what happened. The only mobile money service that had a network already in place was EcoNet. EcoNet already had a big subscriber number, so they were already they were poised to capture more of that value, right? Because their subscribers would just then open their mobile money service. But they should have been confined to that, yeah? But even people who had just the one Net One SIM card, they would go and buy a second EcoNet SIM card so that they would have EcoCash. Because OneMoney was just not an option. So unfortunately, Net One missed that transition. And that transition actually was in 2016, and EcoNet grew the biggest. Their biggest growth was in yearly terms was from 2015 to 2016.
Yeah,
that's when EcoCash subscriber numbers grew by the biggest margin. Remember, it was already, you'd expect that the biggest growth is at the beginning. I mean, EcoCash was introduced in 2011. So, when you grow from 1 subscribers to 2, that's 100%, isn't? But their biggest growth rate was several years later when this transition was happening. And Net One was nowhere to be seen. So it's unfortunate now that they seem to have a guy who has a vision, who is Lazarus Muchenji. I do think he has a vision, but it's after the transition.
So we have
So
to
I
go back
don't
to a
know.
stage where there's a transition like that again.
So you see, I don't know if there's going to be another transition in the future. Perhaps Zimbabwe will transition again from cashlessness to cash. Well, it is possible with how expensive it is to transact, as long as then the government solves the availability of cash problem, and then the economy is stable. There could be a switch back to cash. I don't think it would be massive to go back to the levels that we were before. I don't think so. I think people are now used to the convenience of not transacting in cash. But if there is such a transition, then Net1 has to be ready with a strong agent network this time, because agents are important when
Cashing in and cashing out.
there's cashing in and cashing out. So for a long time, they were already behind. They didn't have a strong agent network. But even as Econet was expanding their agent network, concurrently they were expanding their merchant network. And in a cashless environment, when people were looking to substitute cash, that merchant network was invaluable. So it's sad, you know. And the only thing that I see that would give Net1's OneMoney a real shot is something that is outside of themselves, and
Which
that's interoperability.
Okay.
If then the regulators say, you know what, it should be possible for these systems to speak to each other. One should be able to send money from EcoCash direct to OneMoney and vice versa. Then the EcoCash network effects will not matter, because I can pay to any network, any merchant that's already on EcoCash using my OneMoney. So the services will start to compete on what they are offering the customer. That's when those zero transaction fees would then matter. Because someone will say, yeah, you know what, I can easily send money to someone who's on EcoCash. Because right now it's impossible. So in a cash environment, you can send money to someone. I don't know if it's still possible. But I mean, even in the early days of EcoCash, right? You could send someone money who was on Telecel. Do you know that?
Serious?
Yes.
I only know of the
Just,
recent one where EcoCash made it possible for Net1 lines to register on EcoCash.
no, you
Whether
could
you could
send.
send to someone on
Yes.
Telecash.
No, not on Telecash, with a Telecel number, because remember, you could still send money to someone who's not registered on EcoCash.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just that when they then cash out, even when you're sending, the fees are higher.
Oh, okay.
Right? And right at the beginning, you could send to any number. Telecel number, Net1 number. So that was actually suspended because of the wrangling between the operators. You're using our agents, you're doing this, because Econet did not want their EcoCash agents to also be Telecash and OneMoney agents. They were saying, yeah, we worked hard to recruit agents. You want to reap when you do not sow. So because of those wrangles and stuff, then these guys also responded by cutting each other out and all that. But I'm not sure about OneMoney, but I know Telecel reintroduced that some years back, where you can send to any other number. And I think Net1 can easily do that, because it's a matter of just someone getting a message that has some verification. So you receive money on your Econet line, Rufaro, that says you have received money from Tinashe's OneMoney. Here's your code. And then you just go to the agent to say, I want to cash in. Then you give that agent that code. They punch in that code. They know exactly how much you have. But in a situation now where there is no cashing in and cashing out, where cash is out of the question, there has to be a wallet-to-wallet interoperability where you are not sending to any number. You are actually sending into a wallet. So if that happens, then perhaps OneMoney has a shot at doing this in 2 years, where they'll say, you know what, we'll just keep innovating like crazy, such that people would choose to hold their money in OneMoney wallet because it can still send to an EcoCash. So the switching is not, it's not a big jump for someone.
Yeah.
As it is without that, they have to work even harder to make their service super compelling for someone to say, let me switch my my account. It's the same with banks. So in the old days, when things were normal in Zim, banks would work very hard to open, like kids accounts or even accounts for students and stuff, under the assumption that once someone is your client, they're your client for life. It's not fun just changing bank accounts.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a monologue there.
I'd like to issue an apology to everyone who's here with us. We said we were done with the bleak news, but this sounds very dark and gloomy for OneMoney. At least there's some light at the end of the tunnel with OneMoney.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that growth in subscribers is, it might be vanity metrics in that, there's no equivalent change in the transactions and stuff. But I think someone who's already registered is closer down that funnel, is further down that funnel than someone who's not registered at all. So it's a good thing that they are managing to grow that subscriber base. And like we said at the beginning, like when people are disgruntled, EcoCash has messed up somehow. They may say, but I'm registered for OneMoney. Let me move money to OneMoney without maybe thinking. And then they realize, I'm on OneMoney, but I want to send my grandmother money who is on EcoCash. So how do I do that? And then perhaps they will say, go and buy a net online. I guess so.
And the revolution starts.
And the revolution starts. I do think it's a step in the right, and that they want this, it's a big deal. It's an uphill climb. They should not take it for granted. They should not think it's a small issue.
Yeah.
But if they're willing to roll up their sleeves, network effects can be unraveled. You just have to bring us an unexpected value, something that we have never seen, something that we didn't think of. Right now, I think they're still thinking too linearly. It's like Facebook. Who would have thought? But Facebook was so afraid of Instagram because Instagram came with just a simple thing. It's about photos, and we will be excellent at this. And they were growing a network. And Facebook bought them for $1 billion when it was, people said, how could they spend so much? Same thing with WhatsApp. And same thing with Snapchat. Facebook felt so pregnant with Snapchat that they started copying Snapchat. So it's not impossible to attack where there are network effects. It's hard. But the only way to do it is to not to compete at the same terms with the person who has the dominance, in this case, EcoCash. you should attack it at a tangent, and they have to find that tangent. And right now, I mean, talking of social networks, right now, TikTok is taken.
What? You know about TikTok?
Oh, it's my job to know about such things. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a craze in North America and Europe, yet it's a Chinese thing, right?
It's been there for a while. It used to be called Musically.
So yeah, I then downloaded it, and I could see why. Because they just made it about this thing. It's just this fresh thing and it's not based on who you follow or whatever. It's just based on interest, and it's just interesting.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. The organic reach of TikTok. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So now Facebook is concerned about TikTok, and they're attacking it and talking about how it gathers data for the Chinese government, which it may. But yeah, so it's not impossible to attack someone who is dominant and has these strong network effects. But I think the best way to do it is by offering a unique value proposition, not necessarily zero fees and we'll do what this guy is doing, we'll just do it better. That's too linear. It's not 10x.
You have to be 10x better.
You have to be 10 times better. Yeah. So yeah, so that's not to disrespect OneMoney or their ambition. Hey, you know what? Business analysts get it wrong all the time, so we might just be wrong. But yeah, I guess this is a good. This is probably a good time to wrap it up, isn't it?
Yep, it's pretty much a good time. Yeah.
So yeah, in wrapping up, we'll just remind you again that you can buy a time of any network
with
using your WhatsApp. You just send a message that says WhatsApp to the TechZim Markets WhatsApp number, which is 0718 049 280. 0718 049 280. So just send the word airtime. Airtime is spelled AIRTIME. And so you buy your Net One, Telecel, EcoNet, even Africom when it's working properly. And your payment method is EcoCash. It's fast, it's seamless.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I can't help it. This is a OneMoney podcast, and it ends talking about EcoCash.
Well, we did talk about how dominant they are, but yeah, I mean, in good time, I mean,
we have OneMoney as well.
We have OneMoney as well for all the services that are available on TechZim Market. Yeah. So it's, we wish them all the best. I mean, we want competition in this space.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for hanging out, Nashe. It was a really insightful chat. Like, I'm probably why I was like blown away. I was like, what? This, and that. So I really did learn a lot. And thank you all for listening and tuning in. This is Fufaro, and bye-bye.
Tinashe, until next time, which may not be next week. Well, who knows? Next week it could be someone else with Rufaro, or someone else with me, or maybe it could be one of you guys.
I was about to say that. Yes, would love it if it's one of you guys.
Would love it if it's one of you. So, like as you have noticed, I mean, we do this over a call. So this is a call. So you don't even need to come to us. we can just do this call thing and yeah, talk about stuff that you are interested in talking about.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Bye.